Approaching from the sky. Radio contact.
Alright guys, so just like in the previous videos where I went over what we need to do for stretches for the upper body to get rid of that hunchback type look, I did go over with you a visual format of what's called the lower body syndrome, and it had, if you got my emails, I refer to it as having a badunkadunk, or basically Donald Duck type look with a huge ass. And the opposite, which is basically, I didn't get into too much, but I'll tell you right now, is basically that the hips are rotated the other direction, and basically looks like you have a long ass back and your hips are always tucked underneath you. And you kind of walk with your hips forward, butt tucked in type deal. We call that Pink Panther, basically no ass at all in a sense. But, so the first guy is associated with having really tight hip flexors, really tight hips, really tight quads. So what we need to do to stretch and correct that neural drive from those muscles is basically stretch the hip flexors and quads. One of the best ways to do so, I'll show you guys right here. Is just your standard hip flexor stretch. So just set up on a bench. It could be, you could even progress this to a wall. Just bring your knee right on the ground, bring that leg right forward, and you want to make sure that this leg is forward. You want to stretch right forward. If you're really tight, you're not going to be able to stand up straighter. You're going to have to stay in this position, which is fine for now. Even if so, if that were the case, you would not elevate this foot, but keep it on the ground, kind of like so. And some people are still stuck here, just straighten right out. That in itself, people are so tight that they can't get into this position. So again, that's kind of like the extreme. You want to sit right here and breathe. Let this guy come right forward. You want to squeeze that butt cheek as best you can. Some people don't have that connection. Your butt cheeks don't work right, or you can't fire them when you want to, but you want to put your hand right on your ass and try to squeeze it. You're going to feel more pull on that side. If this is okay, not that bad, how you want to increase the stretch is just by going right overhead. Just elongate and reach up and back on that angle. And you want to hold that 20, 30 seconds. Again, you want to be diligent about this and have, it's not going to come overnight. It's going to be painful at first, and it's going to suck a little bit, but you got to man up a little bit. The second guy, basically we want to, with the Pink Panther syndrome, what happens is they're really tight here, they're really tight in their hammies. So what we want to do is basically, one of the best ways to do that is just by stretching out the hamstrings. But what happens is, most people that are really tight can't get into the perfect 90-degree angle type deal, and they'll always kind of, you catch yourself sitting. You catch yourself sitting and they're kind of like this because they can't straighten out and keep their legs straight. So what we want to do is just use a wall. 90-degree angle. Work on getting everything flat, pushing your butt up against the wall. Try to get everything straight. Hang out here. But at the same time, you want to push this into the wall to sit into that 90-degree angle. And again, it's going to be a little bit painful at first. If you're really tight, you need to learn how to breathe and relax. That's a huge thing with stretching. Be diligent and continue to do so. Again, these could be done as many times a day as possible. It doesn't have to be only one time. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. The other thing that's associated with basically tight hams with the Pink Panther syndrome is going to be tight abdominals. They're kind of like, you gotta understand, upper body and lower body syndrome are kind of associated with one another. If you have one, you're going to have the other one to some degree. So they're going to be hunched overall. So not only going to be here, but they're going to be kind of like this. And take a look around. You see plenty of people like that. So what's going to happen is you're going to want to basically elongate or stretch that section of the upper abdominals. So you're just going to be here. Keep that head up. Your hips are to stay on the ground as best as possible. And you just literally come and drive right up. And you want to sit, stay in this position, and you're going to feel a deep elongation or stretching on top of the abdominals. These people should not be doing, honestly, any type of crunch, because obviously you're further facilitating that impairment, or you're further putting yourself, just look at that movement, what's it doing? You're putting yourself more, you're shortening that muscle there. So that is the stretches for lower body syndrome, the 2 different types. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'll be back at you guys later.